Welcome to the USS Orlek.
Well, hello. Thanks for having me. My name is Jerry Lee Armstrong, and I served aboard the USS Orlek from April of 1965 until December of 1968. I joined the Navy in California in December of 1964. I joined with a buddy, Bobby Gonzalez from California. I went to boot camp in San Diego. And after boot camp, I was flown from Travis Air Force Base to Mandela Bay to Subic, where I caught the USS Orlek. And I went to transit first, and I caught the USS Orlek in April of 1965 and served aboard her, like I said, until December of 1968. I was aboard the USS Orlek when, I don't know if you can get that on there, but when we fired our 10,000th round, I'm the first zero in the 10,000. That's me holding it there.
All right.
Right. Actually, for that, we had a little celebration, and we went aboard an aircraft carrier. The Bob Hope Show was there. Raquel Welch and Bob Hope and Gary Crosby. And this was in '67, I believe, May of '67. And they pulled hats. They pulled names out of a hat of 50 people that could go to this thing from the Orlek, and my brother John and I were picked, and we both got to go. So we went. They came over the helicopter, took us over to the aircraft carrier. We got to watch the USO show with Bob Hope and Raquel Welch. Everybody was pretty happy to see Raquel Welch there. I'll tell you that. Well, anyway, I served in the WD division. I was a seaman, able-bodied seaman. I served with the bosun's mates were Johnson, Jacobs, and Shaw. And my friends aboard ship, which I'd like to get a hold of, was John Martin from Iowa, a fellow named Vance, and I'm not sure, last name Vance, I'm not sure where he was from. I never have been able to get a hold of any of these guys. And a guy named Donald Carr, who was from Ohio area somewhere. And I was also aboard ship when my best friend aboard ship, Randall Schuler, passed away aboard ship. And I was selected because I was his best friend. I was selected to escort his body back to his family in Cleveland, Ohio. And I haven't been in touch with any of the Schulers from that area, but maybe this will be a touch. Maybe they can. It'd be nice to touch with them, because Randall and I were real tight, and he was only 19 years old when he passed away aboard ship. So, but anyway, my brother served with me aboard the ship. We served in the bosun's mate division, where we did all the riggings when we had to rearm, replenish, or refuel.
And what was his name? John
Armstrong. John Armstrong, my brother John, and Jerry Armstrong. That's me. And we served. We were home ported out of Yokosuka, Japan. We'd go out, do Vietnam shore bombardment for 20, 30 days at a time, and then we would plane guard. We actually had to pick a pilot up out of the drink one time. He had to parachute out. His plane was hit or malfunctioned in some way, and he parachuted in, and we put the motor well boat in the water, went over and picked him up. That's actually in the cruise book here. I have the cruise book with me, the USS Orlek Far East Cruise, and it's full of stories about what we did when we were in the Navy, when we were 19 years old and 20 years old and 21 years old. I got my friends are right in here along with me in my WD division. Actually, the bosun's mates, Jacobs and Johnson, are here also, and Shaw. The bosun's mates that I served with. I'm sure it's been almost 50 years. It's been 47 years. I'm not sure if the fellas are still around. But I would like to use this opportunity to maybe the people that I mentioned, maybe they could get a hold of the USS Orlek website, and I'll be listed as a member. And people can get a hold of me through the USS Orlek website. And we kept these decks spick and span.
We need your help.
Yeah. And the 5-inch 38 gun mounts, there they are. When I during general quarters, I would be in this gun mount. That would be the powder man. The projectile man would be in front of me. He'd shove the projectile. I put the powder behind it and ram it home. And we would get sometimes 5 salvos at a time where we would shoot 5 times. The whole ship would rock, and there'd be powder casings all over the deck. In fact, I got pictures of that in here. Back in those days. This gun was the top gun of the 7th Fleet during Vietnam. But I was aboard it so long that during general quarters I was in here for a while, then I'd be up on the bridge at another time. So I served in several positions during general quarters. Yeah, there we are. There we are shooting them. If you can get a picture of that, see all the powder cases I was talking about that would be hitting the deck coming out of the gun mount after we fire?
Right.
These were brass, so we'd save all those, recycle them, and they'd fill them up again when we rearmed. Destroyer Orlek proves itself a big gun in the Vietnam War. Destroyer clobbers the VC from offshore. Navy gun's a sweet sound to advisor. The gun barrels would get so hot we would have to take water and cool them off. In fact, we had to go back to dry dock in Vallejo, California and replace the barrels.
Both of them?
Yeah, both mounts, yeah. We were in dry dock for 9 months in Vallejo.
Well, how about the guns on the stern? Were they fired up much?
Yeah, oh yeah, just as much.
Okay.
Yeah. This was one tight machine when it was running. We had like 300 men aboard this ship, and it ran like clockwork. Ran like clockwork. Nobody ever bumped into anybody else. If you weren't on watch, you were in your rack.
Well, that's one thing that visitors remark on. That many men on a ship this size,
yeah.
And how didn't you run into each other all the time and get around?
1 foot, one man for 1 foot, 390 feet, you know. I hope that some people see this and get a hold of us, some of us old sailors that are still around. The people I had mentioned earlier in the interview, that would be nice, it'd be sweet. I don't remember that store clerk. Oakley, was that his name?
Correct.
But I'm sure he was aboard the ship same time I was, and he might remember me pressing my uniforms to get aboard, to get off the ship, because they used to have to be pretty spick and span in your whites to get off, request permission to go ashore. They could deny you if you weren't looking good. So he probably did press my uniforms for me. Yeah, he might. If he remembered Schuler, he probably remembers me too. Schuler and I were best buddies.
Orlek.org.
Orlek.org. That's the website, orlek.org. Okay, I'll have to tell my friends.
And the association is USSOrlek.com.
The association is USSOrlek.com.
And I'll send your information to Bob Orlek.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds great. Basically, that's kind of what I wanted to say, because I wanted to try and get a hold of some friends of mine from the days that we served together, and I heard that this might be the best way, and I just wanted to do this interview for that purpose. And especially if the Schuler family is out there, I would really love to get a hold of them in Ohio. And that's about all I have, sir.